Tonight I am making my spaghetti with a roux, but I'm making it with boneless chuck steaks tonight. I like steak spaghetti. It tastes totally different than other spaghettis. And so today I decided to do it like I did on that last video, the viral video with the spaghetti. But change it up a little bit. Got beef broth, got tomato paste, stewed tomatoes, 2 cans of tomato sauce, and 1 can of diced tomatoes, or you can use Rotel, and of course your spaghetti noodles. This is about 3 pounds of boneless chuck steaks, and I'm going to cut them up into bite-sized pieces, and you can take out like the bigger chunks of fat, but that little marble stuff doesn't make a difference. It's a pretty good bit of meat. Cook down 2 onions in a little bit of oil, vegetable oil, until they've all sweated out, and then you add a little bit of flour and keep cooking them down. That's kind of like the roux. It's not a typical roux, but it is a roux. Once you get the oil and the onions and everything kind of mixed together, you keep stirring, and you stir the onions back into it. And I added a little bit of broth just to deglaze it a little bit. It's going to get kind of pasty and thick, and it's going to keep cooking. It's going to get more brown. The key to anything with flour and oil is that the oil and the flour will burn if you don't continue to stir it until you add all of your liquid. Season it here. I put garlic powder, some T-boys, salt and pepper. I forgot until later to put a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. Mix it up and let it cook, and it's going to keep getting darker because obviously the flour is going to keep cooking. Add a couple tablespoons of parsley. Continue to cook it. It's going to get real thick and pasty. Yeah, that's going to be a good base. We're putting in the rest of the beef broth, and it's just going to make your base for the tomato gravy. Next, you put in your Rotel or diced tomatoes or whatever it is, and cook that for another 5 minutes just to get it all mixed in there. Looking good, looking good. It's just gonna get creamier. Yeah, open all your cans right now. And I recycle everything, so I've rinsed them out and cleaned them. Put your can of tomato paste in and get that mixed in well. Cook that down a few more minutes before you add in the other cans. And I use stewed tomatoes here because I like chunky tomatoes in my spaghetti, but you don't have to use stewed. There's your tomato sauce. Stir it all up. You can but you can use canned or diced or whatever you want. So here I'm gonna add sugar. Don't come after me. This is what my mama and my grandma and everybody did. It's a few tablespoons of sugar. Cuts the acidity. If you want to use carrots, do whatever you want. I added a can of water. This is a little bit of oil in a hot pan to brown all that meat. All the steaks, you gotta brown them up pretty good and get them ready to put into that gravy. Keep stirring this, by the way. You have to stir it like every 5 minutes for a while. Put it on low, cover it while you're working with the meat. It smells really good. Season it with salt and pepper, or whatever you want to put on it at that point. I thought my sauce needed a little bit more, so I put some paella in it. So yeah, cook this, and it's going to start sweating some liquid out of that steak. And I'm going to pour some flour just on top of it. It's going to get really thick. It's going to make like I don't even know what to call it, but it's going to get thick. You're going to cook that for a few minutes until it's ready to go into your sauce. Scoop it all out, put it in there. It's easy to pick up with the spoon like that because that flour makes it pretty sticky. So yeah. Once you get it all in there, you're going to start stirring it up and cover it and let it cook. You still have to come back and stir it like every 5 or 10 minutes just to make sure it doesn't stick, and start cooking your noodles. Don't forget to salt your water. Just follow the package directions for that. Keep going with this, checking it and stirring it every now and then. Spaghetti's almost done. This is where I forgot to add the Worcestershire in at the beginning, so I put it in later, and I let that cook in another 30 minutes. Noodles are done. Make you a little plate. I'm going to a crawfish boil, so I'm not eating a lot of this, so that's why it's a little bitty bowl. I'm saving my stomach for the crawfish, but it is delicious, and if you want to get bougie about it, put some Parmesan. Ça c'est bon.